to the Wrestling with Politics YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to be showing you exactly what we'll be doing to anybody like Joe Biden or any of these wealthy elites who try to mess with us.
Can I go home now? What's going on?
Just like that. Roll the video. Welcome everyone back to the Wrestling with Politics YouTube channel. Today, we're going to be talking about our new presidential nominee replacing the current president of the United States, Joe Biden, is Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, somebody who we've known for about 4 years now as our vice president. And I don't know about you, but I don't really know much about Kamala Harris besides the fact that she hasn't been doing much for 4 years. I knew Kamala Harris when she was running for president in 2020. I remember Kamala Harris when she was running for president in 2020 because she barely got anybody to vote for her. She had to drop out of the race early. And now, all of a sudden, there's a new momentum behind this candidate, Kamala Harris. Everybody wants to vote for Kamala Harris. All the polls say Kamala Harris is leading Donald Trump. She's African American, she's a woman, she's been in those chambers before, she has the experience, she's been in the Senate, she was vice president for 4 years now, and she has exactly checks every single box that the Democratic Party and the modern day establishment is looking for. And there's one particular box that Kamala Harris checks that makes her the perfect candidate for president for anybody who wants to keep the status quo. And that box that Kamala Harris checks is that she is whatever you want her to be. She will do whatever you want her to do. That is, unless those things involve progress, change, or making the world a better place. But when it comes to keeping the status quo, Kamala Harris is the top candidate in the presidential race. And the Democratic Party thinks that they can get away with Kamala Harris not doing any interviews, not taking any questions, not talking to any reporters until the election. And they think they're gonna win that way, and they don't have to publish any policies. And by the way, I checked her website. There are no policies on her website. As a matter of fact, I went on her website last night, and the first thing that they did was ask me for money. So tell me, do any of you have $1,000 to donate to Vice President Harris and Tim Walz for their election campaign? I don't think so. And that's exactly the problem. Kamala Harris thinks that you do have $1,000 in your account. Kamala Harris thinks that you haven't been impacted by inflation, that you haven't been going to the grocery store, that you don't see what's going on right in front of you. Everything's getting more expensive, your dollar has less value, and the people who are responsible for it are people like Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. And the number one proof you need to see that Kamala Harris is bought and paid for, that Kamala Harris is a shill for the establishment, and that Kamala Harris is somebody who's not worth voting for, is her comments towards Israel and Palestine and Gaza. The other day, protesters did show up to Kamala Harris's campaign speech, and they let her know exactly how they felt about what's going on in Palestine. And here's what Kamala Harris had to say back to those protesters.
Backward. Just look at his Project 2025 agenda. Project 2025. I'm here because we believe in democracy. Everyone's voice matters, but I am speaking now. I am speaking now. If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that, otherwise I'm speaking.
And you see that look, that smug look on Kamala Harris's face? It goes to show how she feels about the Palestinian protesters, the Palestinian movement, and the Palestinians themselves. This moment revealed a lot, because to anybody who thought that they were gonna vote for Kamala Harris on the basis that she would be any different on Palestine than Joe Biden, anybody who thought that just got smacked in the face and told to shut the hell up, because Kamala Harris, just like any other US politician, is gonna continue to fund the state of Israel. She will continue to put the interest of a foreign nation above the interest of the United States. We are done with politicians who do not put the interests of our own country before the interest of another nation. We should not be sending money to Israel, to Ukraine, or to any other nation. But unfortunately, with Kamala Harris, the only policies that I know for sure that Kamala Harris will deliver on is sending more money overseas, is getting us into more wars. And don't forget, Kamala Harris will make Wall Street and will make the wealthy elite richer and richer every single day she's in office, just like Joe Biden did. So we can't be fooled because they put a new skin and a new color on the same damn face. We're not gonna fall for it. And that's why in this next clip, when Kamala Harris does call for a ceasefire, I want you to think about exactly why she's calling for a ceasefire.
But you'll soon get to know his wife, Gwen, to whom... You know what? Hold on a second. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. Here's the thing. We are all in here together. I'm told an extraordinary number of folks who are here together because we love our country. We're here to fight for our democracy. So let me say, I have been clear. Now is the time to get a ceasefire deal and get the hostage deal done. And the president and I are working around the clock every day to get that ceasefire deal done and bring the hostages home. So I respect your voices, but we are here to now talk about this race in 2024.
In that video we just saw there, Kamala Harris tries to win back a lot of the voters she lost from coming out against so harshly against the Palestinian protesters. And she did get her ass handed back to her on social media, and I guess that's why she did come out and call for the ceasefire. But guess what? Nobody's falling for it. We don't believe you. And if you really do think that your voters are stupid enough to believe that you actually support a ceasefire, well then, this election clearly isn't going to go very well for Kamala Harris, because October 7th at this point was about a year ago, and I have been hearing Joe Biden and Kamala Harris calling for a ceasefire. They say those words a lot: ceasefire, ceasefire, ceasefire. But you know what Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are? They're the president and they're the vice president. And you know what they can do? They can deliver on a ceasefire. But you know what they haven't done? Delivered on a ceasefire, because they don't actually want to do that. They don't actually want to deliver on any promises for their voters, because that Israel wouldn't like that. Bibi Netanyahu wouldn't like that. And Kamala Harris, you know what you can do? You can get on the phone with Bibi Netanyahu right now, and you can tell him to give us a ceasefire, but you won't do that. And that's because Kamala Harris, what she actually does support is sending more money to Israel, is sending our money overseas, our US taxpayer dollars. That money you work so hard for, Kamala Harris will put that money, take it, and drop a bomb on a little kid in a hospital with that money. And that's exactly what we're fighting against, and that's exactly what we're trying to avoid in this upcoming election. And that's why it's so important that we come together, whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a Republican, whether you're on the left or you're on the right, and vote against this monster, this evil woman who is Kamala Harris. She's not your savior. She's definitely not any better than Joe Biden. She might even be worse than the demented Joe Biden. So we're in big trouble here if Kamala Harris becomes president of the United States. We cannot allow this to happen to our country, and hopefully we rise up and realize that there are better options amongst us. And that brings us back to political lesson number 1. And that is that power will concede nothing without a demand. So if we want to make Kamala Harris give us a ceasefire, we're going to have to pull up to the White House ourselves and make our voices heard. And right now, I'm making my voice heard. And if you want to make your voice heard, you can sound off in the comment section down below.